Hello, all you freaks and fairies, and welcome to the Disgruntled Traveler Podcast. I'm your host with the most, Tammy, and today I'd like to tell you a story not about the Bradys. How does that go? I don't know. No, today I'd like to talk about what happened to me in Turkey. Straighten up my little self. Yeah, my little self. Don't I look cute? Anyway, I'd like to tell you what happened. I have several stories that happened in Turkey. I was staying 2 weeks in Antalya in particular. Antalya, Turkey, which, if you're not familiar where that is in the south of Turkey. Okay. I think it's the second largest city in Turkey. I'm not sure. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Educate me, okay? Educate me. But this is a serious story. This is not really a funny one. This is a story about what happened to me at a minimart. Okay. Well, let me give you the backdrop first. First of all, like I said, I got a place in the old town of Antalya, and I was staying there for about 2 weeks. And everything was cool. I mean, I love the place. It's a very beautiful, beautiful old town to walk around. The scenery, the mountains, everything is just absolutely gorgeous about the place. Except one little thing, and I don't know if it's just because I'm an American woman. I don't know if I give off these vibes to other men, but I have never experienced this in all of my 1 year of travel, all through Southeast Asia. When I got to Turkey, it was a whole nother level with men. I don't know if it's the culture either. So if you're a Turkish man and you're listening to this, this may not pertain to you. I'm just saying this is what I experienced. This is my personal opinion and what I experienced, which really was sort of scary. Okay. Because I'm a solo female traveler. I've been doing it for a while now. And I'm really cautious and careful when I travel. I really am. I don't try to do anything to attract attention or anything out of the norm. But anyway, I lived, well, I say lived because I was staying in this place in the center of town, and I got the munchies. Okay, shoot me, I got the munchies. So I decided to go down to the local mini mart to pick up some snacks, because I was like, I would love to have like a bag of chips or some cookies or something to munch on tonight and the next few days. So I was like, oh yeah, remember there's a mini mart about 2 blocks up the road. I can just walk up there, go get the snacks and come back, right? So this is during the day, just to give you an idea. Mid-afternoon, I believe it was even a Saturday or a Sunday, but people out everywhere, it's just your normal typical scene. It wasn't just tourists, it was also locals. In fact, there was more locals out. I think I was about the only tourist out at that time. I mean, it was like low season when I got there and it was pretty dead. So anyway, I'm going up to the mini mart, right? I'm going up to the mini mart. Excuse me, I'll get my water. And I go into the store. It's a small store. It's small. So I go in there and, I'm the only one in there. And there's a woman behind the counter. Okay, it's cool. She's on her cell phone doing whatever. She's not even paying attention to me. So I'm just looking around, taking my time. I get a bag of chips and a bag of cookies, and then I'm grabbing some peanuts, and I'm like, ooh, there's a chocolate bar. I'm just doing my little happy dance around the store, right? So I finally get done. I have all these snacks. I think I had about 5 bags of snacks. I put them on the counter, and she proceeds to ring me up. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? Nothing weird about that at all. Then this is the part that gets really, really, really strange. So all of a sudden, while I'm behind the counter waiting for her to ring my stuff up, and grant you, she's halfway done. Okay, I'm about ready to check out now. This guy, this Turkish man, rolls in with his 4 buddies. Okay, so there's 5 of these guys that all run into this little bitty store and crowd in with me. And the one guy just grabs a drink out of the freezer case. And he just goes right in front of me and he just puts he just grabs this and he goes and expects her to stop ringing my stuff up to ring his one little bottle up. He didn't say, "Do you mind if I butt in front of you? Excuse me, I'm in a hurry. Do you mind if I ring this up real quick?" None of that. None of that. So I'm just like, and she's looking at him too. And he's saying something to her in Turkish, like, hurry up, maybe, like, "Ah, la, 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 la," like really mean to her. So she stopped ringing my stuff up and she had to clear the register so that she could ring up that stupid freaking drink that he put on the counter in front of me. Now, mind you, what's going through my head at that moment, I felt, I'm an American girl, I'm sorry. If you've ever heard about Karens, like, I was ready to pull a fucking Karen on this guy. Like, I was so ready to say something like, "Hey, yo, asshole, I was checking out first, get behind me, okay?" Like, that was what I was thinking. And, it took everything inside of my soul to hold my tongue because, okay, with age, I'm not no spring chicken. I mean, if I was back in my early 20s or my teenage years, my mouth would have just shot off like immediately, and I would have been in some hot water. But with age, you get a little refined with time. So, all these thoughts are running through my head. First of all, pissed off thoughts. And then all of a sudden I was like, whoa, wait a minute. This guy's not alone. And these are younger Turkish men. Okay. They look strong, like they could fuck me up. You know what I mean? So I see him and then I see the 4 dudes behind him and I'm looking at them and they're looking at me and he's yelling at her. And I'm just like, okay, so I just step off to the left just a little bit to give them the room. And I'm just watching this whole thing go down, man. Because another thing that was going in my head, I was thinking, okay, I could say something. I could mouth off at this guy, even after he got done ringing up, I could call him an asshole, dickhead, whatever. I could have said something to this guy, right? But then in my back of my mind, I was like, wait a minute, Tammy, think about this shit. You are 2 blocks away from your place. Even if you tell this guy off in front of all his buddies to get that battle won in the store, who's to say that all 5 of these dudes aren't going to follow you back to your place and try to do something to you? Because it was quiet. The streets were quiet that night, or that day, I should say. It was during the day. The streets were quiet. There are, if you've ever been in Antalya, Turkey, they have small cobblestone like streets and alleyways that weave through the town. Okay. And to get back to my place, I had to go through a couple of those. So in my mind, also I was thinking, these guys can come behind me and follow me back. They could, rob me. They could even worse, they could rape me or they could kill me over my mouth. and embarrassing this guy in front of this Turkish woman. So I was like, okay, no. I said, this is not a battle worth fighting. I have to let this one go, if you know what I mean. I have to let this one go. So I held my tongue. I let him finish ringing up. She got him out of there. She just did blah, 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 and he went blah, 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 and then all five of them walked out. No sweat. Then she went right back to my stuff and just started ringing me up again. And of course, I checked out. I didn't say anything to her. I could just, she didn't speak English, and I could just look at this lady's face. And I could tell that, this is something that probably goes down a lot in Turkey. But like I said, if you're a Turkish man and this isn't you, then this isn't you. Maybe this was just a one-off. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what this was. But it was just the rudest thing I've ever witnessed. And I've been in a lot of places around the world, and I've never had anybody butt in front of me so abruptly and rudely and then not think anything of it. It was like I was totally invisible. Like I wasn't even there. Like the guy just didn't even acknowledge me. Like I wasn't even there. He literally just put that can of drink and just he was very mean about it. Like he slammed it on the counter in front of me and her, and then he's blah, 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 and she's like I could see her putting her hands up like okay, and then she, like I said, she stopped ringing me up and went directly to him. But yeah, but after that incident, I was so glad when I was walking back by myself. I looked around to make sure these guys like weren't around, just hanging around, following me or anything. But I didn't say anything because I was like, well, there wouldn't be any reason for them to want to follow me, because I kept my cool and I didn't say anything. So was that the right thing to do? Should I have possibly stood up for myself? What do you think? Drop me a comment. Tell me what you think I should have done. What would you have done in that situation? Now, if you're a dude and you're listening to this, especially if you're an American guy, I mean, would you have taken the chance of maybe, cussing the guy out, or even worse, getting into a fight, over a drink because he butted the line in front of you? I mean, but then again, if you don't stand up for yourself, well, then, you get pushed around. But like I said, it's just like when you're in another country, you're in somebody else's territory. Like, back in the United States where I'm from, I know what the laws are. I know what I can say and what I can't say. And, and even back in the United States, if that happened, and that has happened to me a few times. If I don't say anything, then usually the person behind the counter will say something for me, and they'll say, hey, she was next, wait in line. They would actually take the customer and tell them to move. But in Turkey, like, the women seem very, I don't want to say subservient. Maybe not scared's not the word. I don't know what it is, but it's just like they jump when these men do what they do. So that's just my opinion. That's what I experienced, and that's the story I wanted to tell you. So if you're a single woman and you're traveling solo through Turkey, excuse me, just keep this in mind. When this happens, when you go into a store, this could possibly happen to you. Okay. So my best advice is just hold your tongue. Don't pull a Karen on them. Okay. Don't do it. Don't do it because you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, the least of your problems could be that they might put you in jail for mouthing off at them. You don't know. But like I said, the worst case scenario is getting beat up, robbed, raped, or even killed. And over a can of Coke, that's just not, that's not worth your life. So all I got to say is remember, I am the disgruntled traveler.